these individuals are, they provide passion, they provide insight and expertise to our mission. They are a joy to work with. And for those of you who serve on boards, you know how sometimes it's challenging to get a board fully engaged, but I can assure you that the board of this organization is fully engaged, and I really appreciate the service of my colleagues. I also want to acknowledge Ms. Marcella Brown, who I think most of you know. She is the lifeblood, she's the energy of this organization. Her leadership is critically important. We wouldn't be where we are without her, and I just want to publicly acknowledge Marcella and all the fine work that she does to make sure that we're doing everything we're supposed to. So as you know, this is our signature event. I mentioned this before, that, and I hope everybody has a great time. In fact, it's always tough to get people to settle down in the beginning because it's like a family reunion. Everybody's, having a good time and greeting each other. And we like to see that because that's really part of the community of professionals that we want to promote. But you also know that this is a fundraiser. You do know that, right? Right? Okay. So, asking for money is always uncomfortable. I mean, there are some people who are really, really good at it. Most people aren't. But I know you've all heard the saying, a closed mouth never gets what? A closed mouth never gets what? And a closed mouth never gets fed. So I'm going to tell you that we're hungry. BPACF, we're hungry. We have young people, our kids, young adults that want to go to school, but they need financial support. BPACF, we can help them. We have scholars, students that are looking for meaningful internships and employment so that they can develop skills so that they can become more competitive when they reach the marketplace. And BPACF, we can help them. We can do those things. We have young Black professionals that are right here in Northeast Ohio that have started their careers. They've got great potential, but they need leadership development to help them move on to the next level so that someday they can be sitting on this stage receiving their award. Our organization, we can help them. But we can only help them with your help. And so I'm going to ask everyone to think about something. So tonight, we have a specific ask. We want to raise $20,000 tonight, okay? $20,000 in pledges, $20,000 in donations. Now, does that sound like a lot of money? I hear a lot of silence out there. Does that sound like a lot of money? Okay. Now, by my calculation, just rough back of the napkin calculation, if everybody in this room contributed a small amount, $30, $35, we could probably make that number. But I know some people can do that, some people can't. But we are asking for $20,000. So hopefully, tonight you're going to hear about the work that we're doing. You're going to hear about the work that our scholars are doing. You're going to hear about the amazing work that Robin does in her professional career, and that and the same work that her predecessors have done, the same work that you guys are doing today. You guys, all these people, this organization, we strive to be the inspiration that allows our scholars to be their best selves. So if you hear something tonight that moves you, that you appreciate, that you enjoy, not only do we want you to express your appreciation through applause, we want you to help contribute financially. So Marcella is going to explain how to do that because we've made it very easy for you, but that is the ask. So that ends my remarks. So I really appreciate everyone's participation, and again, enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. We will now have remarks from Mr. David Abbott, host committee remarks from Mr. David Abbott, Executive Director, the George Gund Foundation. Mr. Abbott.
Good evening, everybody. I'm pleased to be able to greet you all and welcome you for the evening on behalf of the host committee. If you're here as a member of the host committee, stand up and say hello so everybody can see who you are, if any of you are here. So I see a few of us here. All right. Thank you. Those of us who were asked to serve on the committee did so gladly because we all know and love Robin from various aspects of her life. And in my case, I was able to observe Robin for many years in her various civic endeavors, but then in particular got to work with her as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Gun Foundation. And that's an unusual position for somebody in Cleveland because, as you may or may not know, the Gun Foundation board is primarily made up of members of the Gun family, but none of them live in Cleveland any longer. And so we always have two trustees who are from Cleveland to help provide us with additional eyes and ears on this community in addition to what the staff provides. And Robin did an exemplary job in that and every other role as a member of the board. But sadly, her 2 terms of 3 years each ended at the end of last year, and that's all our rules allowed, so we had to say goodbye to her. But when I think back on why we wanted Robin on the board, there were so many different reasons. It was because of her knowledge of issues in Cleveland, whether it's community development or the arts or economic development or local government reform. There's so many things. And also her personal characteristics. She is so smart. I think you might even say she's wicked smart. And we took great advantage of that. And also her great civic experience. And finally, I would say, the thing that really drew us to Robin was her passion for social justice. And she's demonstrated that in so many ways over the years, and it's something our foundation really shares with her. And I regard it as a good omen that this award is being given to Robin tonight, just 3 days from an election where we're going to find out whether justice can reclaim its place as one of the lead values of our national government. And I certainly hope it does. But no matter how that comes out on Tuesday, I know that Robin is going to be a continued leader in the ongoing struggle, the struggle that's certainly going to go on, and that many of us are going to join her with and be with her in that. And that's always a great place to be with Robin. And so, thank you, Robin. It's great to be here on your behalf and to see you honored. Thank you all for coming, and for God's sakes, vote.
Thank you, David. Well, Ronald teed it up a moment ago. Now it is time to swing that bat. Ms. Marcella Brown, BPAFCF's Executive Director, will deliver programs and services updates. Marcella.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Black Professionals Foundation, I thank all of you for spending your Saturday night with us. It is my honor to serve as the Executive Director of BPACF. I want to take a moment and just say, you all look amazing from up here. Give yourselves a round of applause. We have an enchanting evening scheduled for you all tonight. Before I give the program update, I would like to take a moment and acknowledge all the people who made tonight possible. Our Gala committee has worked so many hours to make this event a success, and I'm going to ask that every member of the Gala Planning Committee, as well as the BPACF Board of Trustees, please stand and be recognized. For more than 35 years, this organization and this event has served two very inspiring purposes. The first is to raise critical funds for our scholarship program and youth initiatives. I want to take a moment to also recognize our scholars, those that could join us this evening. Of course, we do find ourselves very close to midterms, so not everyone could make it tonight. In the program book, you will find a full listing of all of our scholars, but I will ask if the BPACF scholars, family members, and our youth hosts and hostesses who are program participants would also stand and be recognized. The second goal of tonight is to celebrate an outstanding African American professional. Every year, we ask members of this community to submit nominations for the Black Professional of the Year. You all will have an opportunity this evening to participate in that process. There is an evaluation form that has a nomination request on the back inside of your program booklet. Tonight, we're saluting Ms. Robin Minner-Smyers as our 36th Professional of the Year. To the woman of the hour, and yes, I did say woman, it's been a while. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your time with us, your talents, your treasure, your staff. Thank you to Tommy Robertson. Thank you to Mr. Stephen Minter. Thank you to everyone in the Minter family and the Smyers family who have helped make tonight a success. 2018 has been a wonderful year for BPACF. It's been a year of growth. It's been a year of refocusing. The board and I have taken some time to listen, to learn, and to better understand the needs of our scholars, our sponsors, our funders, our honorees, and our many program partners by way of our strategic planning process that started in January. Our new strategic plan will be shared with this community in early 2019, but I can confirm that our commitment to creating a pipeline of talented, dynamic African American professionals for Northeast Ohio businesses, civic, entrepreneurial, will continue. Many of you have enjoyed our efforts by way of our professional development workshops, our speaker series, and our networking events. This year, we launched a new series called Engage, a focus on civic leadership, which was funded in part by the George Gunn Foundation. This focus identified high-potential young professionals interested in civic leadership who were ready to take on the task of leading our community into tomorrow. Our Who's Got Next series is bringing together like-minded professionals within specific sectors to discuss the challenges and opportunities of effective management and leadership within their fields of endeavor. Our Night Out series is convening dynamic professionals for one of the most tried and true methods of professional development and recruitment, just plain old networking. This year, we also had a new honor that we bestowed upon 6 very unique professionals in our community, our Trendsetter Honors, where we recognize 6 young professionals who are truly not only setting new trends, but making a difference in Northeast Ohio. We're going to ask our 6 trendsetters who are here with us tonight to please stand and be recognized as well. Over the last few years, we have expanded our youth career development programming as well. There is greater consistency in our scholarship program, which is at times a blessing and a burden. Right now, our scholarship program has a 70% retention rate. That's right, for all of you funders in the room, I said 70%. Hold me to that data. It means that more of our scholars are returning to college and staying in college until completion. But it also means that we are limited in the number of new scholars we can add to that program. We are working hard to address the challenges that sometimes defeat our scholars in their efforts to complete their degree with our College to Career series. We're teaching local youth, even those that don't receive a scholarship award, how to find scholarships, how to match their process with very effective methods. We offer an internship boot camp every year that develops their soft skills so that when they go on the job and enter the workforce, they're ready. They have professional etiquette, emotional intelligence, cultural competence. After all, professionalism is not taught in classrooms. You learn it on the job. But it's often the difference between the final candidate and everyone else who applied. We're doing all that we can to develop emerging professionals who are far more than just work ready. They're leadership ready. We've expanded our Career Connect internship program with 5 distinct tracks that allow scholars of any major to focus on industries that are thriving here in Northeast Ohio. We have a focus on aviation management, law, public utilities, advanced manufacturing, and entrepreneurship. Industries that are making a difference in our community. We're preparing these program participants to enter the workforce as competitive professionals of distinction. Now, every year, we have a process where we have to select the Black Professional of the Year. And it's a tough decision. One of the intended outcomes of our programs is to make that process harder and harder every year. We want to identify and develop a talent pool of dynamic professionals that are so accomplished, so poised, that we drive ourselves crazy with that process. And we want to work with companies, funders, individuals, and organizations who believe in this goal. Maybe not to make the process insane, but to develop an amazing talent pool of leaders in Northeast Ohio. Now, I don't want you to take my word for it. After all, this is my job. But I think it's best that you probably hear it directly from one of our scholars and one of the business owners who've partnered with us on our programs. BPACF scholar Cynthia Fields could not be here with us tonight, but we do have a video of her sharing her experience as a BPACF scholar and intern. Ladies and gentlemen, please draw your attention to the screens as we share a little of Cynthia Fields' story.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Fields and I attend Baldwin-Wallace University. I'm the class of 2018, double major in International Business and Finance with a minor in Marketing. I am from Cleveland and I am a BPACF scholar. I learned about the scholarship from my counselor, Mrs. Paul, who I'm actually still in contact with, and I actually do outreach throughout the high school for students to come to Baldwin-Wallace University. When I think about my future, the thing that keeps me up at night is, am I doing enough? And every day I try to push myself and do something new and maybe even fill out an application or two or internships that will prepare me for the next level in which I plan on going into. Where I see myself in the next 5 years is in a place where I'm evolving, I'm learning, and I'm actually building experience. An example is I'm the president of Black Student Alliance on campus. I was always a part of Black Student Alliance, but I never knew that I could actually take leadership in it. And we've been able to create a momentum in which Black students actually are included. We do amazing events, and we've actually did collaborations with other surrounding universities. BPACF is helping me achieve these goals by helping me when it comes to finding a good mentor, giving me internships, financially helping me to where I don't have to stress about the finances of how I will complete my education here at Baldwin-Wallace University. So they help me in so many ways. So one of the projects that I'm working on this year is developing a high school tour. So what Black Student Alliance does is that we're going to go to at least 15 inner city high schools and we're going to talk to these students about higher education and why having Black Student Alliance on your campus and things like that is an incentive on why to join. And we talk to them about higher education along with clubs and organizations in which they can start and be a part of as incentive. But along with that, we also do workshops. The workshops that we do are writing workshops so we can make their essay universal to where they can switch it for a scholarship or they can switch it for an actual college application. Along with that, we help them fill out the Common App. We help them get through that process. BPACF is important to Black African American students because they provide so many resources that other high schools and universities and other cities do not provide. They give us mentors, they give us internships, they help us financially, they have us get ready to be ready in a professional environment. These are resources and things that are unreachable for other students and especially Black students as a whole. So I believe that it's very important that we have them as a resource and that we use them to our best ability because this is how we will succeed and excel in life.
Now, we want you to also hear from the internship site where Cynthia participated. As I mentioned, we are expanding our Career Connect program. Thanks to a grant from the Burton D. Morgan Foundation, BPACF is working with small businesses and entrepreneurs to identify college students interested in entrepreneurship. The students are matched with an organization, and tonight we've invited one of our program partners, Ms. Jacinda Walker, owner of Design Explorer, to share her experience as an entrepreneur who participated in the program. Now, just to share a little bit about the process, usually we interview our interns as well as the job sites to get a better understanding of what they need, but also what the scholar is looking for in the experience. We require all job sites to have at least 3 opportunities that the scholar can work on so that it's meaningful time. So this is not a go get coffee and make copies type of opportunity. This is a real job experience. We interviewed Jacinda, and she was very focused on her request. She said, Marcella, I want a creative. I am a designer. I want someone in the arts to work with me on this project. And so I said, okay, tell me more about the project. And as she started to tell me what she was looking for, I said, Jacinda, I really think you need a business student. She was hesitant at first because all artists are very committed to their craft, but we talked her into working with Cynthia Fields, and they both had a wonderful experience. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Jacinda Walker, owner of Design Explorer, to the stage to talk more about her company and her experience in the program.
Thank you. Well, I have to say, I have to agree with Ron and Marcella. You all look amazingly wonderful from this view. Thank you so much for having me today. Good evening. I'm here to, I'm here today to talk with you about supporting this internship program. As Ron said, we met probably about a year ago almost. And Ron was kind enough to listen to what I was looking for and what type of work I was doing. Design Explorer is a design education business that celebrates design by creating opportunities to expose Black and Latino youth to design careers. This work is done through collaborations on impactful youth activities, coordinating diversity building initiatives for organizations. We also work heavily in connecting resources to parents, professionals, and other interested stakeholders. Our mission, our #1 design goal, is to empower today's youth with real-world skills, connections, and experiences so that tomorrow's design profession has all of the best people leading the way. In its brief inception, Design Explorer has reached more than 1,100 youth. We have provided design education learning challenges throughout AIGA's design conferences. We've been commissioned to produce the Design Diversity Index funded by the Gunn Foundation, and Scout for Talent at Amazon Design Internship Pipeline. We facilitate design education programs with the Cooper Hewitt Smithsonian Design Museum, and we present this research work throughout the United States in several other organizations. Finding Ron and Marcella at BPACF has truly been a blessing to me. He is absolutely right. When he first spoke with me and he asked me about a student, I immediately said, I only want to work with the creative youth. Design students design students who are interested, young people who are interested in design careers need special care. And that's something that I work very diligently with Design Explorer to expose to them. But in being a creative managing a business, having a business hand is helpful. And so when they introduced me to Cynthia, I immediately fell in love with her. She is such an incredibly talented young woman. Cynthia and I were fortunate enough to work together because with my travel schedule and no facility site, I didn't think I was going to be able to participate in this program. But Ron and Marcella looked at what I was doing with Design Explorer and immediately made it happen for me. So I am eternally grateful for the work that they have done maintaining this program. I hope that you all will continue to support this. When you get an opportunity to meet Cynthia, because she's an amazing young person, and anybody who's at the Cleveland Clinic organization, I just want to give you a shout out. She's looking to be able to continue to do work in international business, marketing, and communications. The process that she did for Design Explorer, she created literally a 120-day social media calendar as well as a schedule to be able to produce the projects. Since I don't have my own site, Cynthia and I met weekly, sometimes twice a week, at the BPA organization, the downtown offices, and a whole lot of Panera Breads. A whole lot of Panera Breads. But being able to work with her, I found out she had many other talents. She introduced me to some of the services that were at Baldwin Wallace, which I didn't even know what was up there. We were using their computer lab, but off school hours, not during homework time. But she showed me some of the services and opportunities that my business would be able to take advantage of at Baldwin Wallace. And those were things that I had even considered, not having been able to work particularly very close with Cynthia. The only reason I had to let Cynthia go was because I had an opportunity to place her in another position upon her graduation. And it pained me immensely to recommend her for this position. But she ultimately received it, and she's working there now, and so she's looking for her next opportunity. So it's been wonderful working and seeing her growth in this last year. She's a graduate now. She is pursuing full-time employment, and just being able to look back at what she's done for Design Explorer, she's truly paved a way. She has made it incredibly difficult for my next intern, and she's made it incredibly difficult because she set the bar so high. She set the bar. She was contacting me regularly when we couldn't meet, when she had tests, when we had finals. We always knew what was going on with one another. So it wasn't difficult to have her work with the organization, even though I didn't have a physical site. Plus, being able to work closely with BPA helped me to understand some of the different types of things that are also offered within their organization. So, as Marcella said, I plan on being around a while. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in speaking with me more about the work that we do at Design Explorer, I'll be sitting right over here with lots of business cards. Thank you so much for your time.
So again, we are so grateful for Jacinda and her participation in the Career Connect program. Ladies and gentlemen, the strength of our programs lies within the generosity of our donors. We ask that you make an investment into our programs tonight. We're going to make it easy for you, though. You can make a donation by way of the Givelify app. Under Charities, just search BPACF in Cleveland, Ohio. You can use the Cash app, and our cash tag is BPACF. You can go to our website, bpacf.org/donate. There you will find Cynthia's video as well. Or you can use the donation envelopes that are located inside of your program booklets. Now, if you need a little inspiration to get this process started, one, we will be showing all donations made by way of the Givelify app on the screen during the dinner hour. So those of you who will participate by Givelify, we will acknowledge you publicly here tonight. But even more so, I'm pleased to share that we have a match challenge tonight. Someone in the room has agreed to donate $5,000 in match of the first $5,000 raised. So the stakes are high. And I don't know, is it a secret? Should we keep it confidential? No, he's okay? Okay, so where is Mr. Daryl McNair? Please stand. Thank you so much, Daryl. Mr. McNair also is a participant in our Career Connect internship program, and he had one of our scholars this summer. So we are so grateful for that match challenge, but now we ask everyone in the audience to help us reach that goal. We're going to ask you to take out your cell phones, go to the Givelify app, go to the Cash app, pull out your donation envelopes, or visit bpacf.org/donate, and please give generously. During the dinner hour, our scholars and hosts will come around and introduce themselves. They're going to tell you what school they attend, what their major is, their rank, and they're going to ask you again to please support our programs and services. So on behalf of BPACF and all of our programs, we thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we ask that you give generously, generously, generously. Thank you.
I have a very special relationship with Robin because, most importantly, she's my daughter, daughter number 3.
That she has an incredible capacity for humanity. And I say humanity in the sense of her family, her friends, her colleagues, and people in the community. I mean, she has so much passion for people from all walks of life, and I think that's one of the things that really impressed me with Robin.
So right now, Robin is our board president at the City Club of Cleveland. I'm so proud to know Robin. I'm so proud to get to work with her. I'm privileged to be able to collaborate with her and to learn from her. What a great honor, and I'm so glad to be a part of it.
She's just a person who really cares about equal opportunity for everybody, and she doesn't just talk the talk, but she walks the walk, and she asks the tough question. It's interesting. I had the privilege of working with both her mother and her father, and I see the blending of both of them in her.
So I think the qualities that make Robin a great attorney and influencer in this community is that she's a fantastic listener, she's an outstanding writer, she's actually a doer, and she's actually genuinely concerned about helping others.
I would say her kindness. I think that she has a very kind heart. I don't think I've ever seen Robin angry or even raise her voice or even be upset, because she has a talent for taking things in stride and making people feel comfortable at all times when they're interacting with her.
Her leadership, that is the thing that I admire most about her, and the thing that is the highlight. She's persistently and consistently in a leadership position. And even if she wants to sit back and pretend that she is just gonna take it easy for a second, she's not. She's gonna wind up being the leader again.
Other than being an attorney, there's a lot in her early career that sets the stage for the things that I think she's doing today. I'll give you 2 examples. One, she loved musicals and in the high school chorus, and one of the great roles she played was Julie in Showboat, where she is the wild, bosomy singer who lights up the stage. And also, Robin was the goalie on the Shaker Heights High School field hockey team that finished 2nd in the state on several occasions. So she's gotten herself engaged in a lot of different student activities, in the Kumba Singers at Harvard, and a lot of the other kinds of things that I've mentioned. In the community, I think she sort of has a
sometimes serious demeanor, but she is actually very funny and very fun to be around.
She was involved intimately with changing Cuyahoga County reform. She was a leader in that space. She's been a leader at the City Club. She's been a leader at MOCA. She's been a leader in her professional life. So I would definitely say her legacy in this community would be her citizenship.
I guess if I thought of just one word, I would say graceful. She conducts herself at all times as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, and as a professional.
She's always someone who has really been engaged. In high school, she was very much part of the SCORE in Shaker Heights High School, which is a student group to promote and work on race relations. Robin can get very engaged in art. She's collected African art. She gets very caught up in travel with her family, and they've planned great trips. I had the privilege of traveling with Robin and her family to Italy this past summer.
I think she most enjoys talking about her children and their activities. Robin gets really excited and tells great stories about her family and their amazing trips and their experiences, and loves talking about some of the funny things that maybe her husband Bert did on those trips and excursions.
She's a great mom. She always talks about her kids and her family, and I know it's something that she cares deeply about.
Robin is probably excels most notably as a soccer mom. There is nobody on the sidelines more engaged, more ready to capture the moment with her camera, more there for her daughter than Robin.
During college years, she worked for then Commissioner Virgil Brown at the county. Robin spent a year summer's internship with the Children's Defense Fund working with Marian Wright Edelman in Washington, D.C. on child advocacy. She followed that up in college by winning a fellowship after graduating from Harvard and going to South Africa and working as a fellow with Archbishop Tutu. In law school, one of the summers, she clerked for Justice of the South African Constitutional Court, which is like the U.S. Supreme Court, as well as her work with the Corporation for Supportive Housing in New York City, which was worried about and working on affordable housing and those kinds of programs.
But to see someone young to be honored, I thought was really, really a step in the right direction. I think that because we often look at how long a person has been doing something, but I look at what they've been doing and how they've impacted the community. It doesn't matter how long. So it was really exciting to learn that someone that I knew and mentor was now going to be the Black Professional of the Year and joins the ranks of her father. I mean, a father and a daughter, that's amazing.
She's as smart as a whip. Her ability to dissect information, to reach conclusions after getting very little information that are always spot on is a real talent. I mean, I would hire her in a heartbeat as my attorney for real estate and other matters.
From my vantage point, she's always been a dynamic, energetic person of style and substance, and that goes from the time that she was very small and going to school, let alone now in her professional career.
She's a Black Professional of every year as far as I'm concerned. She is the Professional of the Year as far as I'm concerned. In some ways, it's a very obvious choice. She is just a true leader. The second thought that I had was, oh, she's going to have to sell a lot of tables.
I'd like to say that Robin Minter-Smyers is lighting the way. Lighting the Way is the tribute that Robin made to her mother last year, and she put together this amazing book that really spoke to the life and the legacy of her mother, Dolly Minter, not only that she had on her family, but that she made on the Northeast Ohio community. So I'd like to say congratulations to Robin, well deserved, and continue to light the way.
And now, to introduce our honoree, Ms. Alexandria Johnson Boone, President and CEO of GAP Communications and the 1994 Black Professional of the Year. Ms. Johnson.
Thank you very much, Russ. It's kind of interesting. This was supposed to be a surprise for you, Robin, and the program got a little bit out of order, so I was going to introduce the honoree video, but wasn't it a great video? So I'm still going to give my remarks because I took time to prepare them. And so I need y'all to hear them, okay? So, but in the VIP reception, I said to someone that tonight I felt like you were channeling Michelle Obama. You are graceful, you are loving, kind, and giving, and this award is so well deserved. Okay, so here come the real prepared remarks. Okay, good evening, everyone. And thank you, Russ, for that really short introduction, even though I submitted 2 pages for my introduction. Since 1981, the Black Professional of the Year Award has become the most prestigious award that an African American living in Cleveland can receive. It is bestowed upon individuals who have achieved excellence in their profession and have also demonstrated a capacity for giving back and tirelessly serving their community. So tonight we continue that tradition as we honor Robin Mentor Smyers as the 2018 Black Professional of the Year. Now, one might also say that tonight could also seem to be a reinforcement of the Mentor dynasty, as Steve Mentor, my friend and hero, and of course, more importantly, Robin's father, was awarded the same honor in 1985, a mere 33 years ago. But it is so obvious that he and his amazing wife, Dolly, instilled their passion for excellence and community service in their highly accomplished daughters as well. As I thought about a few words that would describe Robin, the following words came to mind: successful, brilliant, compassionate, driven, steadfast, loving, committed, visionary, and last but not least, Alex Boone-like. And the list could go on and on and on, but in the interest of time, I will simply say that she is an incredible woman who is wise beyond her years. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring Robin Mentor Smyers, the 2018 Black Professional of the Year.
I just wanted to, again, on behalf of our organization, all of the work that you've done. You know, you and I, we went to high school together. We've kind of grown up in the profession together, and so it's truly an honor to be able to recognize you today. So I just had to say that, and I apologize for that interruption. But
thank you, Ron. And thank you, Alex, for that wonderful introduction. You are a marvelous friend, an incredible mentor, and a great role model. Wow, this is really something. And I am so very, very grateful. Let me start out by thanking everyone in attendance for this honor and for your support of the great work of the BPACF. There also are some people that I need to give special thanks to. First, my wonderful family. I am joined here by my husband, Bert, my son, Thomas, my daughter, Shannon, my daughter, Charlotte, my dad, Steve Mentor, and many cousins, aunts, and uncles on both sides of the family. Thank you all for being here. I I also must thank my many friends who are here tonight, including my college roommate, Carol Bell, who flew in from Tampa, Florida, my many Lynx sisters, and my 3 tables of Thompson-Hine colleagues. I'm especially grateful to my friends and mentors who are serving as honorary co-chairs for this event, Carol Hoover, Margot James Copeland, and Albert Ratner, and to my friends serving on the host committee. And thank you to Russ Mitchell, Reverend Smith, Dave Abbott, Randy McShepard, Lynette Jackson, and Dan Moulthrop for their contributions to tonight's program. And thank you to the many sponsors of this gala. Your support makes all of this possible. Also, a huge thank you to BPACF, especially the marvelous Marcella Brown. Thank you to BPACF's Board of Directors, especially my friend, the remarkable and very humble Ron Johnson, and the many, many volunteers. I mean, BPACF has a lot of committees. Thank you to all of them. And thank you to the excellent team here at Executive Caterers at Lander Haven, including our servers tonight. Pulling off a gala like this is a little bit like organizing the D-Day invasion. So I know that there's always an army behind the scenes making it all possible. If I missed anyone in these thank yous, please forgive me. I have a confession to make. I find this all a bit overwhelming. Indeed, from the first moment that I learned of this honor, I was overcome with a variety of emotions. Definitely surprise, but also joy, pride, and humility. To think that I'd be joining such an esteemed group of past honorees that includes people I really look up to, including my dad. I know that there are a number of past Black Professionals of the Year here tonight and Lifetime Achievement honorees. Can we give them another round of applause, please? Another emotion I felt when I learned about this honor was anxiety, because I knew that it's customary to give remarks on accepting such an award. And though I do my fair share of public speaking, particularly as the president of the board of the City Club, it's not something I actually consider one of my strong suits. I wondered, how could I acquit myself in a way equal to this honor and the occasion? The first thing I did was what any wise person would do. I, of course, Googled great speech writing, how to tell jokes when you're not funny, and speech themes that won't cause your guests, the audience, to nod off. But no inspiration came to me. And then I found myself looking at the invitation to this event and saw the theme for tonight's celebration: heritage and virtue, a salute to legacy, leadership, and compassion for community. The light bulb went off, and my mind was soon flooded with so many thoughts and reflections on Black professionals, legacy, and leadership. Well, my speech practically wrote itself. Okay, not quite. There was still a bit of nail biting and heartburn involved. So let's consider these terms for a moment. Black professional, legacy, leadership. What does it mean exactly to be a Black professional? The first part's, fairly obvious to people, I suppose. It's typically tied to one's identity as a person of color whose ancestors hailed from the African continent. For me, that's an especially vital part of who I am. I'm someone that people sometimes find difficult to categorize, so I've made it a priority in my personal and professional life to emphasize my Black roots, that I'm Black and proud. So what about the professional part of being a Black professional? As an adjective, professional is defined as competent or skillful. My desire to excel in every facet of my life and every day as a partner at the law firm of Thompson Hine is also a part of my DNA. Like many of you, I've logged more hours than I care to recount dedicated to this end. So it's extremely gratifying for me to stand you before this evening and be recognized as a Black professional deserving of this honor. Let's consider the term legacy. The dictionary tells us that legacy means something handed down from a predecessor, an inheritance, a gift, a birthright. Being a Black professional, I am filled with immense gratitude for the inheritance from which I have benefited, long before I started my professional career and up to this day. Indeed, were it not for the birthright bequeathed to me as an African American, a birthright born of the hard years of toil, sacrifice, and faith of so many Black Americans that came before me, I certainly wouldn't be up here tonight. From my earliest days, it was my parents who raised me to value hard work, to understand that to whom much is given, much is expected, and to be proud of my Black heritage. My dad was, and still is, my first and most important role model. He has enriched our community throughout his career, the paragon of a Black professional. My dad turned 80 2 weeks ago. Yes, that's worthy of some applause. And although he's got a few more gray hairs, he's still the man who was once honored as the Black Professional of the Year. Indeed, I remember that night very well. I was a teenager, just about the age of my two daughters. And I remember being pretty annoyed with my mother that she wouldn't let me wear a more grown-up looking dress. I also remember how impressed I was by my dad's commitment to this community. And that commitment has never wavered. My dad taught me and others by example, serving this community with integrity, grace, and a quiet tenacity. Before my dad stood his parents, my grandparents, your grandparents, Larry and Dorothy Minter, who were, with others of their generation, they blazed the trail for me, defining what it meant to be a Black professional well before the term was ever used. They labored tirelessly to improve conditions for their family, often against pretty incredible odds. My grandparents never went to college, and they started with very little in the way of material wealth. But they had grit, they had talent, and they had each other. So even when the Ku Klux Klan tried to chase them from their home in Braceville, Ohio, their indomitable spirits could not be broken. They persevered, each becoming a leader, revered by coworkers, neighbors, and friends. Wherever they went, they were committed to making their community stronger. Reflecting on this family history, I was struck at how much the stories of my dad and my grandparents really embody the essence of the American dream, the ideal of what America can and should be. Work hard, play fair, support your family, and lift up those around you. Of course, I also share with you and all African Americans in the sacred legacy endowed to us by the heroes of the centuries-long struggle for civil rights and equality in this country. Those heroes include Cleveland's own Black sons and daughters, whose efforts advanced our common good. People like Carl and Louis Stokes, Carol Hoover, the Reverend Dr. Otis Moss, who's here tonight, George Forbes, and yes, my dad. But this debt is also owed to the men and women whose names have not been recorded in the history books and have not been celebrated at gala dinners. They made sacrifices and pushed down barriers to gain a seat for blacks at all tables, be it in city halls or in boardrooms across the USA. We all stand higher because we stand on the shoulders of giants. Tonight, we should all take enormous pride in the progress that our forebears and we together have earned. Black professionals of tremendous achievement and great success can be found in all walks of life, across every sector of our economy, and in every corner of this great country. We're business owners, we're entrepreneurs, we're bankers, real estate developers, politicians, and even presidents. We lead public, educational, and nonprofit institutions, and yes, we even build thriving law practices. But even as we take stock of how far we come, we're reminded each day of how far we have yet to go. There can be no mistake about it. We are now engaged in a fight for the very soul of America. Blacks are still confronted by many of the same enduring obstacles to advancement that impeded us in the past. The lack of access to good schools and adequate educational resources is exacerbated by incessant poverty in many of our communities and inequitable models of school funding. There is a dearth of good career-building job opportunities, especially for young African Americans. Some of these challenges are newer, evolved versions of the old ones, but they're no less damaging. Attempts to marginalize the political strength of African Americans are evidenced by redistricting initiatives by many state legislatures across the country and recent challenges to the voting access of many people in Black communities in our own great state of Ohio. Voter fraud is a boogeyman that is used as a front to prevent Black, brown, and poor people from voting. Mass incarceration has become the new Jim Crow, locking African Americans behind bars and relegating them to permanent second-class status. And we've seen recent reversals of past gains made by affirmative action, and current trends portend even more backsliding in the future. Worse yet, we're witnessing the reemergence of open hostility and violence against Blacks, against Jews, immigrants, and other minority groups. This demonization of the other is sanctioned and even encouraged by elected politicians in Washington and across this country. Can you believe that Black Lives Matter is controversial instead of a universally accepted statement of manifest moral truth? The bedrock of democratic norms and values, like a commitment to the free press and free speech that we fought for and that have protected us, are under siege. I'm increasingly left wondering, what's happening to the American dream? And importantly, how can we reclaim it? Dr. King famously said, quoting Theodore Parker, that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. I believe earnestly that is true. But not because it is preordained to bend towards justice. Rather, I believe that we are the force that bends this moral arc. Each of us born to this earth is tethered to this moral arc and to each other. And through our own actions, we have the power to nudge, or sometimes even drive, the arc towards justice or away from it. We choose every day the direction in which we are pushing or pulling. With every effort to right a wrong, heal an injury, help someone in need, the arc shifts a degree or two to the good. And importantly, we can have a tremendous influence on the exertions of others, and whether our collective efforts together will curve the arc more sharply towards the cause of justice. For this reason, like those who have gone before, we are now called to leadership. Our history compels us to protect, to educate, to guide, to inspire, to lift up each other and the generations that follow us. We must continue building the legacy that we have inherited. Leadership doesn't mean each of us has to run for office or make it to the C-suite. Our leadership can manifest itself in lots of different ways, depending on our circumstances, styles, and gifts. It could mean funding a BPACF scholarship, matching Daryl McNair's matching grant, being a BPACF mentor, or making an angel investment in a Black entrepreneur. Or it might mean supporting a candidate for office, assisting with get out the vote drives, and yes, organizing a peaceful protest to press for social change and greater justice for Blacks and all Americans. I can do more. I will do more. I am humbled by this wonderful award and energized by this terrific event. And I ask each of you to hold me to account, to expect more of me. And in turn, I'm opening up the challenge to you. Let's recommit ourselves to be the leaders driving the change that we and our country so desperately need right now. What better legacy to leave behind when it's our turn to pass the torch? Thank you very much.
So Robin, on behalf of the Black Professionals Association Charitable Foundation and all of its constituents and supporters here, we'd like to confer upon you our 2018 Black Professional of the Year Award. Thanks so much for your She looks like a princess, doesn't she? So one of the things that I always enjoy about listening to an acceptance speech from our honorees, we never really know exactly what the honorees are going to say. But one thing that we always know is they're always going to say something insightful and say something empowering. And so, Robin, your words were awesome. So thank you so much. So just a brief update. So earlier we talked about our challenge. And I am pleased to announce that we have surpassed our $5,000 match challenge in online giving. I think so far we are above $10,000, still counting. I know some people were able to give online and some are going to be giving envelopes. But I just wanted to thank everyone for meeting the challenge today. And of course, the evening's not over, so you can certainly give more. So we certainly appreciate that. So I think at this point, just in closing, am I right in the closing remarks here? So, again, tonight tonight we recognize a wonderful person. You've heard a lot about Robin Minter-Smyers and her accomplishments. But really, tonight is also about that legacy. It's about creating a pathway for future professionals of color to lead right here in Northeast Ohio, if possible, but not necessarily right here in Northeast Ohio. But this is part of our mission. Again, we hope that you've heard something that inspires you. I know that there are a number of you who have never been to this event before, but we hope that this isn't the only event that you'll attend. We hope that you'll be here in the future. We hope that you've learned about how we contribute and grow in our community. And again, we just really appreciate all of your support. So with that, those are my closing remarks. I'm going to ask Mr. Mitchell to come up and close us out. And then we do have desserts out in the reception area, so the night's not over, so don't feel the need to rush home. Thank you.
Robin, once again, congratulations. Fantastic. And now for the benediction this evening, let's welcome back to the stage Reverend Hilton O. Smith. Reverend Smith.
Go forth in grace. Go forth in mercy. Robin, go forth down the lane that you are traveling right now, for God will go with you. Go forth in humbleness. Go forth in love. And remember that 1 plus God is always a majority. Therefore, follow him, and he will lead us all. Good night.